Welcome back to Love Daniela episode 3. It feels so surreal to have a podcast of my own, just a little safe space for me and the girls. And I'm just so happy. I just launched, the other two were pre-filmed before I came out with the podcast. So it's finally launched and I'm just so excited to see where this can go. And yeah, I've always wanted a platform like this where I can be more vulnerable, and I'm just excited to have you guys here. Also, I do want to point out, if you are watching the visual, you're not watching it or you're not just listening to it, my eyebrows are microbladed. They're healing, so they're really dark right now. They're also so unbelievably itchy because it's like a tattoo. Like if you've ever gotten a tattoo where the healing process, you put Aquaphor and then it'll scab over and it's like really itchy. So my eyebrows, I want to rip off my face right now in the best way possible, but they look so good. I cannot wait to see them fully healed. But right now they're going through the healing phase, which I think is a total of 2 weeks, and it's only been, I think, 4 days. So we've got some time ahead of us, and I couldn't stop the show for 2 weeks. We had to get the show on the road. And so if I look a little strange, everyone in my life is like, you look fine, but I'm just so used to seeing myself without these bold eyebrows that I think I look crazy, but everyone else is like, I don't think they look that crazy. So I just want to give that forewarning in case you were like, what's different about her? It is these brows on my face, but I will show you guys when they're like completely done what they look like and how they heal. So yeah, that is just a little disclaimer. But let's start off the episode with our highs and our lows. My high is signing to a management. I have always wanted to sign my social media to a management, and I never felt like one really stuck or like really stuck out to me. And anytime I would talk to my friends about like, oh my gosh, who are you signed to? Who's your management? They would always be like, yeah, I'm definitely not signing with them again once our contract is up. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to sign to that management. And it was a really big thing to trust the people that are running my social media. And like by that, it's just like the back end work. Like they're the ones that get in contact with brands and do emails and that kind of stuff, which take a big workload off of me, which is so nice. Like I am so obsessed with them. I have a friend that signed with them, and that's why she had nothing but amazing things to say. It's female owned, and it aligns like that, and I'm so happy that I waited and I didn't just like settle because I wanted to get signed. I waited until I found a management that I adore, and I'm so excited to be with them. And yeah, it's just like so cool, and I can't wait to meet them in person because I'm pretty sure most of the team and most of the girls that they have signed live in LA. So I definitely want to meet them when I go out to LA the next time. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. So that is definitely my high. And my low is I found a grasshopper in my house. And there was a giant roach, maybe 2 inches, a roach on my balcony. And I have grass patches on my balcony for this little guy right here, Bentley. And he like pees out there. He's such like a indoor dog. Don't come for me. He just likes being inside. And so there was a roach out there, and it's not like I can just not go on my balcony because that's where Bentley potties. And so I was freaking out. And so yesterday, my friend Riley and her lovely boyfriend Mitch came over, and he broomed it off of my balcony. I lost my whole train of thought, but he helped me. So it is not on my balcony anymore. And then I lost a grasshopper in my house like a week ago, could not find it. And I'm like deathly afraid of grasshoppers. Like if you know me, you know I don't mess with grasshoppers. And that is because when I was in middle school, I went to my friend's family ranch. It was me and our whole group of girlfriends, and we were playing like hide and seek. We were playing a game. And so we paired up. So it was me and another girl, and we were running away, and we were running in this field. And I remember there were thousands and thousands of grasshoppers jumping on us, jumping in our hair, jumping in our clothes, jumping in our boots. Like I had grasshoppers everywhere. And when we got back inside, like we were still picking grasshoppers out of everywhere. And I think that just like scarred me. Like I didn't realize at the time it scarred me, but I'm realizing that's one of the top things that I hate. Once I see a grasshopper, I flee the other way. So when I saw this grasshopper jumping in my apartment, I freaked out. And today, actually, it reappeared. I haven't seen it in a week. It reappeared, and Bentley tried to stick it in his mouth. And when he tried to do that, I like screamed. So he like went away, and I ran. I got a cup. I covered it. I cut out a paper plate. I put it under, and I let it go like off of my balcony. So honestly, so proud of myself overcoming fears, because grasshoppers are a big fear of mine. So my low, I overcame. I did not overcome the roach because I did make someone else do that, but you know, it is okay. I don't like bugs, and me having to deal with 2 bugs within 2 days, traumatizing, I'd like to say, but that is my low. And hopefully I don't have to deal with that again. Just like being a girl living alone and having to deal with that stuff is my worst nightmare. That's why like I'm excited to live with my man one day, because he'll deal with it. That is your job, not mine. I'm just a girl. But that's just how I feel. That's how the cookie crumbles when it comes to my boyfriend, and I feel like he knows that's what comes with me, because I get deathly afraid of bugs. But today we are talking about how to be grateful, practicing gratitude. I feel like we could all be a little bit more grateful, but especially in the last few years, I feel like I've been trying so hard to practice gratitude, because life becomes fulfilling when you start being grateful for the little things around you. And so I feel like we should all, as a team, be more grateful and try to practice that in our everyday life, because it just becomes a lot more special. So these are kind of like tips and tricks and how to change your mindset. Mindset is a big thing and is very hard to change, but it is possible. It is possible, because I used to be a lot more negative than I am now. And now I'm definitely the type of person that is thinking like the glass is half full instead of half empty. And I think the world is not against me. I think things happen for a reason, and I try my best to think that. And I know it's hard. There's a lot of bad things in our life, and you can focus on all the bad things in the world, and it is hard, but you can just try your best to be the light in other people's life and be the joy that you wish everyone else in this world had. You can try. And I know it's hard. So to start our gratitude journey, I would like you to start appreciating the small things. Whether it's looking for a sunset and watching the sunset every night, or appreciating your morning coffee and like looking forward to that. You can find something in your everyday life, whether you wake up and you're like, I'm alive. You can be grateful for the littlest things, having a roof over your head, things that some people don't have. We should be so much more grateful for the things that we have and the people that are in our life and all of that, because there is always going to be someone that has less than you. And so you never want to take your life for granted, because it's so easy to complain and think, why me? Why does life always give me a crappy man? Why does life always do that? It's easy to fall in that cycle, but if you're focusing on those small things in your everyday life and you're looking for those things instead of looking for the negative in your everyday life, life becomes so much more beautiful. I'm telling you, it is like the cheat code to life. In appreciating the small things, you can also romanticize your life. Romanticizing your life is so important. I know people say that, like, romanticize your life, but truly romanticize all the things that could be looked at as annoying and frustrating, like being stuck in traffic. And instead of being like, oh, I'm stuck in 40 minutes of traffic, why is this happening and how annoying? Instead of that, make your mindset shift and say, wow, I get 40 minutes of me time where I can put on my favorite podcast. I can listen to my favorite music. If it's good weather outside, I can roll down the windows and whatever. Like, you can always change the perspective of what it is. And I know that thing can be annoying, but if you change it, then when you're stuck in traffic, you're kind of like, wow, like I get like 40 minutes to myself to do whatever I want. So that's a good thing to do, because I see a lot of my friends that we get stuck in traffic and they're like, oh, like I understand if you have you have an appointment to get to and you're late, like that is stressful. But if you're getting off of work and like, I get we all want to be home, we all want to get to our destination, but if you kind of have that mindset, it just becomes a little bit more bearable. So traffic is me time. Then we have working out. A lot of us dread working out and we don't realize that one day we are probably not going to be as mobile as we were at the age of 20, 30, 40, any of those ages. And we get to a point where we're old and we can't go up the stairs like we could when we were younger. We can't move like we did. And some people can't in life at all. So we don't need to take those things for granted. And instead of being like, oh, I have to work out, you get to work out. Like, that is so nice that you get to do something that's good for your physical health, that's good for your mental health. And if you start looking at it as that, then you start looking forward to it. Like, I am so happy that I have the time in my day that I can put aside to working out, to going on a walk, to going for a run. That is something that not everyone can do, and something that you probably won't be able to do at every stage of life, because we do get old and things aren't as easy as they were when you were very agile as a teenager, early 20s, all of that. Like, it's not as easy. So don't take that for granted. And this last one, for romanticizing your life and kind of changing the perspective, rude people mean that they are having a bad day, not you. Don't let a rude person, a rude customer service person, affect your entire day. I am really bad at this. I am actively trying to work on this, because if someone's rude to me, I'm automatically such a people pleaser. And I'm like, what did I do? Did I say something wrong? I'm constantly thinking about like what I did. But if you know that you're just putting out good energy and rude people are around, that has nothing to do with you. That is their own insecurities. They're having a bad day, and don't let that affect yours. That is a number one thing for romanticizing your life, is not letting outside sources affect your internal source and what you're feeling and thinking. And that is something I definitely struggle with, because I always want people to like me. I always want people to leave our interaction better than before, but not everyone is always going to be welcome to that. And you have to be okay with that almost rejection of people being not so nice all the time. So changing those perspectives can definitely make you romanticize your life so much more. And there's so much more that you can do in your everyday life to romanticize those small little things. I also feel like we all need to make more time for our interests. We as kids had so many interests and so many hobbies. And I think a lot in adulthood, we kind of view those things as not as important, but you time is so important. The things that you enjoy doing in this life are so important. And a lot of us forget that. Like, if you like to draw, paint, like go on walks, play basketball, kick around a soccer ball, like if you have things that you enjoy doing, implement those in your life and make time for that. Because if you have time to sit on your phone and scroll on TikTok, you have time to do whatever that hobby is. I know it's hard, and especially if like you're a workaholic like I am, I constantly feel like if I can't like make content out of it, it's not worth doing, which is an awful mindset. And so it's something that I'm trying to work on too. But I got a coloring book with markers, and that is like something that I do to kind of turn off my brain, not think, not be scrolling on social media, not be working, something that I just do because I enjoy doing it. And I feel like a lot of us kind of put those things to the side because it's not as important as external connections or working out or actual work, we kind of put those things to the side, and those things go so far if you're actually enjoying your life, whether that's implementing that for 30 minutes to an hour once a week. It is something that I think we could all do better in adulthood, because we all probably were happier as children. And why is that? Because we made time for things that we enjoyed doing. We weren't doing it for a different purpose. We were doing it just because it was fun. So another thing to prioritize yourself and prioritize gratitude: journal more. Journaling helps so much because you have it written down on a piece of paper. If you're ever feeling like you're being super negative and you can't think of one thing that you're grateful for, have a gratitude journal. Journal down every morning what you're grateful for. We can always pick one thing that we're grateful for, whether it's your long hair, whether it's a friend that you have that you got to speak to, whether it's a certain food. There is always something that you can be grateful for. If you have a hard time coming up with that, look around you, look at your surroundings, look at the roof over your head. You can always find something, one thing, to start off your day being grateful for. It takes 2 seconds. And if you want to add to that, you can also do that at night. What you were grateful for in your day, what in your day brightened up your day, and what can you be grateful for? And practicing that gratitude daily is so good. So if you ever get in those negative mindsets, you can look at this gratitude journal and be like, look how much I have to be grateful for. That helps so much. I also think energy is a very big thing. So if you're constantly putting out negative energy, I feel like negative energy is just going to come back to you. My mom always taught me this, that what you put out into the world, you get back. And so if you're constantly putting out negative things, if you're talking negative about yourself, if you're talking negative about other people, like what goes around comes around. You may see some horrible people and you are like, why do they deserve all that? And you kind of get in the mindset of like, it doesn't matter. But just because it's not happening now does not mean that karma will not do its thing, because karma does its thing. And so I always was scared of that. Like if I, as a kid, because we weren't super religious, we were very spiritual growing up. And so my mom always taught me that. So when I would talk bad about someone, I would have extreme guilt, and I'd be like, whatever I just said, like I'm going to get, because I'm being negative towards someone else. I'm being mean towards someone else. And I would always get scared because I'm like, karma's going to get me. And I really believe in that. Like, if you're putting out positive things in life and you truly believe it to your core, those things are going to come back to you one day. It doesn't happen like that, but it does happen, and you have to believe. And you also have to believe in yourself more than anyone else in this world believes in you, because you are the person that is going to create your dream life. And if you think you can never do it, reality is it probably never will happen. But if you are sitting there and you're like, I believe in the things that I'm passionate about, I believe that I am going to live my dream life, and you have to believe that to your core. It's easy to say that, but it's one thing to completely align yourself with it and not put self-limiting beliefs on what you're capable of in this life. If you think that you're only capable of what you're living right now and you're not capable of more, the universe will never show you more. And that is really hard to learn, especially if you were always taught like this is how life is, this is all you get, and then you're trying to like switch your mindset. It is really hard. But as soon as you feel that, I used to think this life that I'm living right now was never possible. And it didn't become possible until I started believing in myself. I started believing that what I wanted in this life, the job, my dream job that I had, all these things that were impossible, I said, I will get to that point, and I'm going to take active steps to get there every day. And I believed in myself, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe in myself, because just because my mom says I can do something, just because my friend says I can do something, doesn't mean that I believe it to my core. And until I believed it to my core, did the spiral of good things start to happen. And if you're struggling to find meaning in this life, I know it's really hard, especially when you don't have like a set maybe religion, or maybe you're struggling with that and you really don't know what the point is to life. It's easy to fall down those paths. And if you can't find meaning to life, read, explore, talk to people, ask people what they think the meaning of life is. And I feel like cling on to something that resonates with you. I never was a super religious person, and I always felt like I didn't really know what the point of all this was. And I started really exploring, learning, asking people about their beliefs and all of that. And I picked little things that I liked from what everyone told me, whatever resonated with me, and that is my belief system. That is the thing that I have meaning in. And my main meaning in this life and how I find meaning in every day is I feel like I want to be the joy in people's day. I want to be the safe place for people to come to express themselves. And that's what gets me up in the morning. That's what I look forward to. I like being that person for my friends and family. I like being that person to people on the internet. And it made me feel like my life had more meaning to it. Find what that is for you. And we all have things that we can see in ourselves and be like, wow, this is my purpose. Find purpose in yourself. This is a good one that I think we all kind of know innately, but a lot of times we don't implement this in our everyday. But stop regretting the past. You can't change the past, you can only learn from it. So you sitting there and nitpicking what you could have said different, what you could have done differently in the situation does not help because it already happened. So you can learn from it and say, oh, I made this mistake. I will try harder than ever to make that mistake again. But you can't change the past. So stop constantly thinking about the past and stop overthinking the future. Worrying is such a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. It doesn't do any good worrying ever. We can set goals for ourselves. We can make active things because we know what we want our future to look like. But you worrying about that is never going to change what the outcome is going to be. So be present. Be present in every day. That is the key to life. Be present in what in the day will make you happy. What in this current moment will make your life feel more fulfilling. Because I feel like we are constantly stressing out about what we did in the past, what our future should look like, and we don't live in the moment. So then years pass and you're looking back on these years that you should have been so happy, so excited, but you were so worried about the next chapter that you weren't living in the present chapter. And I think we all kind of struggle with this. And I feel like I used to be like, oh, like, by this point, I should be a mom, I should be married. And then you start taking for granted what your life looks like now. You aren't at that stage, so you constantly yearning for your future instead of being present and where you are now and what you can do now is so much more powerful than you think. The last thing I want to leave you guys with is happiness comes from within you. As much as you can try making external things make you happy, it comes from within you. So implement these things, implement gratitude, implement what you can do to make yourself happy, because the only person that is living this life is you. You are the only one living your life, and you're responsible for the changes that you want to make to be a happier, more grateful person in this life. But that is the end of the episode, guys. I hope that you can implement some of this stuff in your day-to-day life. I hope that it kind of makes your wheels start turning of things that you maybe didn't even realize you being negative. And also, if you are surrounding yourself with super negative people, maybe don't hang out with them as much, because it's very easy to become the people you're around. So just be grateful. We have a lot to be grateful for. With how crazy our world is, we could all be a little bit more grateful. So I love you guys so much. Hopefully next time you see me, I won't have as crazy eyebrows. And all my links are down below. The Instagram, the TikTok. Go engage, DM me. I would love to hear from you guys. I want us to have like an actual relationship. So shoot me a DM. I will always be replying. And I love you guys so, 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 so much.